Say you've always wanted to have a backyard oasis. Here's the thing. If you get smart with your money, you can do things like that. With Empower, you can start making the most out of your money so you can go out and live a little. Isn't that why we work so hard? To have some fun with our money? So use Empower and get good at money so you can be a little bad. Join their 20 million customers today at empower.com. Not an Empower client, paid or sponsored.
Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Join me, Cyndi Lauper, with Chef Michelle Bernstein and Dr. Panico to talk about psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, the potential connection and risk of developing permanent joint damage.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com/Cindy.
Hey weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is A Whole Ass Morbid.
It's a whole ass morbid, guys.
Yeah, this case is morbid as fuck.
This case is long and frustrating as fuck.
So just to remind you, this is part 2 of the West Memphis 3, which is probably going to be like 3 to 4 parts.
Yeah, it is most definitely going to be 3 parts. I'm going to try to keep it to 3. I don't know if people are going to get up my butt about it being 4. I
Who
don't
cares?
think it's going to be 4, but I'm not going to make any promises here because Mama doesn't like brevity. And I think that a lot of the details of this case are really important to talk about. And there's a lot of things that don't get talked about enough, and a lot of little things that I uncovered that I just need to feel like I need to talk about. So it's going to be long, but you know what? You're here with me. It's important. It's stressful. We're all in this together.
Last week you said pertinent a lot, and I really liked that word.
It is. Everything is pertinent that we are going to talk about.
I was trying to say that like throughout your whole spiel. I kept being like, is she done?
Did. I didn't know what was happening.
Is she
I was
going?
like, is she just like pecking
I just
at
wanted
the
to be like,
microphone?
pertinent.
Pertinent.
It's pertinent that I get this information
It is.
out.
It's all pertinent. And before we jump into it,
we have some more pertinent news.
We do.
So, like we do in the beginning of every intro, we're going to remind you about our live shows.
Because that's happy fun time. And then we're going to take you into the dumps.
That's happy fun time.
It is.
Wow, okay. Happy fun time is going to go down at the Punchline Comedy Club in Philadelphia on April 14th.
Hell yeah, it is, Philly.
Oh my God, and we just booked our hotel room, and I'm really excited about where we're staying. But you can't know.
I want to see the Liberty Bell.
Yes.
I want to see all that.
I want to take fancy bathroom selfies, that's all. Anyways, April 15th at the DC Improv in Washington, DC.
Monuments. I'm so excited for
those monuments. Sis. April 23rd, the Gramercy Theater. We get to go there again in New York because of the Death Becomes Us Festival.
Guys, come to the Death Becomes Us Festival. It is going to be so awesome. Last year, someone got brought out on stage in a body bag for their entrance.
And then they unzipped her. Like, that's lit.
Do it.
Do it.
Who else does that? You got to come and do it.
We have some good plans for that show as well.
We do. So get with it.
May 6th, that Stand Up Live will be there, and that's in Huntsville, Alabama.
Sure is. Roll Tide, War Eagle. Yeah. Real
Yeah.
excited for Alabama.
Then we're doing 2 shows on May 7th, an early and a late show at Zany's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, we can't wait to see you, and we love you, and our hearts are with you.
Yes. Then, this is a new one, everybody.
New.
June 2nd at the Goodnight Comedy Club in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, Raleigh, we are coming for ya.
And then the next day, June 3rd, at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, we heard ya, and we're coming for ya.
We're gonna be all up in ya.
North Carolina, we are gonna be all up in you.
What's your good food?
Yeah, North Carolina, tell us, what's your good food?
Last time I got a lot of messages from Washingtonians. And
Washingtonians.
Yes, and they gave me a lot of food options.
Honestly, you guys have been like champions with the food recommendations. We're real excited to try all
Mama
these
1
things.
and Mama 2 be loving some
Yeah,
food.
we're
She's
super
thick.
excited.
Anyways, June 11th, we added this one, Chicago, for you, baby, because you wanted us to come again.
You did, Chicago, and we love you so much that we were like, hell yeah.
So we're going a day early.
We are.
Then we're going to be there the next day, too. June 12th.
Yeah, June is going to be crazy, and I'm real excited for it.
Fucking bananas. And last but not least, a show that is very near and dear to my heart and Alaina's heart, if they exist. July 11th at the Wilbur Theater in Boston.
The Wilbur!
I sound like everybody that tries to do an accent in a Boston movie.
You
And then I just also transferred into Estelle.
You sounded like my dad, and then into Estelle.
Your dad, my grandpa, raised us both. I got my Boston accent when Papa taught me how to drive.
That's true. Exactly.
I said things like, "You dickhead."
Yeah. So, the Wilbur. We're really excited for that. Go get your tickets to all those shows. You can go to morbidpodcast.com. All those tickets are going to be up there waiting for you, or go to our link tree. It's in our bio on Instagram, but go to morbidpodcast.com and they'll all be there.
And then you can like read our little informations.
You sure can.
And like do a little dipperoo.
So everybody do that, because we want to do live shows and see all of you. So yay!
You know what else we want to do? Part 2 of the West Memphis 3.
We do, but first I wanted to mention one very somber thing before we get into this really somber case. We're taking the energy way down. I'm sure everybody has been following the case. We've been posting a lot about it, of Evelyn Boswell, the little 15-month-old that has been missing since the day after Christmas, but wasn't reported missing by her fucking garbage family until about 2 weeks ago.
Shit stains.
Which made no sense. And then her stupid piece of shit, quote-unquote, mother.
Yeah, I don't even know if she's like, can she even be called a mother?
No, she can't. That's why I put air quotes around it.
I like it.
She's just a fucking monster. She went on and did an interview and was basically Casey Anthonying the whole thing and saying she knew where she was. She knows who has her. She just didn't want to spook them by reporting her 15-month-old missing.
Yeah, you don't want to piss people off.
Yeah, and then, they were draining a lake in North Carolina that was next to, it gets really convoluted because there's a lot of, just family up in here.
Yeah.
But it's like the grandfather of the grandmother's boyfriend who was pretty sure that he was capable of killing a 15-month-old, which is not ever something you want to hear from a grandma.
Definitely not.
No, that means you're a real shit person if your grandmother's saying that you are capable of murdering a 15-month-old.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I know I was holding out the smallest. It was fake hope.
It's hard, but you have to have a little bit of it.
I just can never fully close that door. But in my heart of hearts, the second the second this news came out that she was missing, I was like, that poor 15-month-old is gone.
Because it had been so long.
Yeah,
that was the issue.
It's never a good thing.
No.
It's never like they just pop up all of a sudden. Unfortunately, last night, Friday night, they did find remains of a 15-month-old girl who they believe to be Evelyn Boswell at a family member of her piece of shit mother's. So they're going to be doing an autopsy. I have not heard any results yet. I'm hoping that they'll release stuff soon. I don't want to hear it, but I need to hear it all at the same time because I've just been following this so hard. It's like closure, I guess. Yeah, I just need to know, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to think about what they did to that poor, and this baby is...
Oh my God, her huge
the pictures
blue
of her,
eyes. Stop.
I was like, every time I saw it, I was like, I'll take her. Like, just give her to
That's
me.
the
I
thing.
will
It's
take
like,
her.
don't have a kid if you don't want one. And if you do have a
Seriously.
kid that you don't want, there are a lot of
Adoption.
places that you can give them to.
Trust me.
Because-
As someone who went
exactly.
through 3 years of infertility struggles, and we were coming to the point where we were like, okay, like adoption it is, and we were like ready to do that. People want children, and it's like people will love
And people
your
will do
children.
anything.
If you are not prepared to adequately take care of your child, that's fine. Just admit to it and give your child up to someone who will. Because it's like, what the fuck are these people doing? Having 15 months, what did a 15-month-old do to you that you killed it?
Exactly.
You piece of absolute shit. Like, it makes me so angry. Like, I can't imagine. I can't even, like, yell at my kids. They're 4. And
I can't even like tell them to clean up.
And it's like,
I'm like, shit,
yeah.
you know what? I'll help you.
You know what? I'll help you. It's like, I can't imagine a 15-month-old.
No.
Like, 15-month-olds are in like the most fun stage of babyhood. It's like they're walking.
Yeah,
they're
all
doing
these
that
fun,
crazy
exciting
little
things are
toddle that
happening.
they do. They're falling over. They're just starting to like say things like cooey,
And all
adorable
they want
little
is
words.
for you to fucking love them. That's
And
all they
yeah.
require is just love.
They just want to please you.
and like other basic things.
So it
but-
just bums me out. So we'll update on that as it comes. But, you know, everybody think of poor little Evelyn today, because I know I am. And moving forward from that bummer-ass news is some more bummer-ass story. So strap in, guys.
But it's not a bummer at the end.
It isn't. There's a kind of somewhat, I don't know. There's an ending to this. So
Yeah.
it won't come today, but we'll go with it. So for this, I've used so many sources for this because I just can't get enough of reading.
Well,
about
this
it.
is a fucking involved case.
Yeah, and this one's really like near and dear to me because I just got so enveloped in it when it happened. So I used Damien Echols' book that he wrote, Life After Death. It's a really good read, and everyone should read it wherever you stand on this case, because it's going to give a lot of insight into West Memphis at the time, what he was dealing with at the time, his background, all that crazy stuff. I also used Devil's Knot by Mara Leverett. That's an amazing book. It's big, long, lots of information. She's an investigative journalist, so she has just a way of finding things that no one else can. And she goes into so much detail. I also use the Paradise Lost documentaries because they have a lot of like clips with them, things that you don't hear everywhere else.
Those documentaries
I recommend
are
those
so
as
good.
well. Yeah. We were just watching part of it again. But yeah, I recommend those highly.
Say you've always wanted to have a backyard oasis. Here's the thing. If you get smart with your money, you can do things like that. With Empower, you can start making the most out of your money so you can go out and live a little. Isn't that why we work so hard? To have some fun with our money? So use Empower and get good at money so you can be a little bad. Join their 20 million customers today at empower.com. Not an Empower client, paid or sponsored.
Join me, Cyndi Lauper, with Chef Michelle Bernstein and Dr. Panico to talk about psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, the potential connection and risk of developing permanent joint damage.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com/Cindy.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
So when we left off last time, we had just talked about how the police were getting desperate. Basically the satanic panic is beginning to seep in, and they're starting to look more at Damien Echols for this.
Just because
with no real reason,
like outsider.
Yeah, because he's an outsider. So police records for this case were a fucking nightmare.
I believe that.
It's, to be clear, the West Memphis PD did not know how to handle a case of this magnitude.
Right.
They just didn't. They were
offered help.
They were offered a lot of help, but also at the time, apparently, the state police and the West Memphis PD, as well as the county PD, were involved with some issues with each other because some of the county PD and the West Memphis PD were getting investigated by the state PD.
Perfect.
For, like, drug offenses. So I don't think they were too keen on letting the state police help them. So that really fucked them up.
Convoluted everything.
Exactly. So that tells you where everyone's at here.
Right.
It's not like we're at this, like...
We're in a fucking dumpster fire.
We're not like a great, highly functioning police department here.
No.
So in the book Devil's Knot, Mara Leverett says that... quote, police records were a mess. To call them disorderly would be putting it mildly.
Woof.
In most of the notes, the wrong child was identified for certain things. They would use the wrong name several times for different things. And they just couldn't keep any facts straight. Like, there were times when they would say that they were sexually assaulted, and in fact, they were not.
Right.
According to the ME, they were not. So according to her book, Mara Leverett's, the police had also assigned the case number for this case as 93-05-0666.
Okay.
Now, when asked about this number, because they were like, 666, that's funny.
Right.
That it's involving, like,
what a coinky dink.
Supposed satanic activity, and 666 is in it. Well, Gary Gitchell, everybody remember his name. He's going to come up a lot.
Gary Douche.
Good old Gary Gitchell. He said, it's just a coincidence. Happened to be that we're on the 666th case.
Doubt it.
Like, cool. Later, however, it was discovered that the case should have been numbered 93-05-0555.
Oh.
So they doctored that to make sure that it said 666 to further put forth this narrative of satanic activity.
You have a little too much time on your hands if those are the details that you're paying attention to, Gary Gitchell.
Those are some stupid ass details. They really are.
That's like something I would expect the media to like.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. The media clings on to that shit.
But I would expect them to make that up, not be like fed it.
Yeah, exactly. But they were fed it by the police.
Ridiculous.
Woo! So Damien was given a polygraph during one of the questioning sessions that they like sprung upon him. And it was noted that he revealed deception when speaking about the murders.
Okay.
Now, weirdly enough, though, there's no record of this deception. So the guy who did the polygraph just says this and says he doesn't know where the record is.
Oh.
So just trust him, guys, okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's telling the truth.
Just trust him. He was deceptive. Don't worry about it.
I don't know where it says
hey, look,
that.
there's something shiny over there. Look at that. Yeah, so and this seems to happen a lot. That all of a sudden they're like, yeah, he said this, and you're like, oh, cool. Can you give me that file that you should have because you're a police officer and in your training you learn that you write everything down and keep a very detailed record and double check it every time?
Yeah.
Can you give me that?
No.
And they're like, oh, no, we didn't like write it down or have any record of it. Or they'll be like, yeah, totally. Oh, no, you know what?
It's weird. Here. My dog ate it.
Yeah, it's real weird. It's just not here. And it's like, weird. Maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. So that happens a lot. In Damien's book, Life After Death, he describes the atmosphere around West Memphis at this time, and it is pretty bleak.
Oh, good.
Obviously, we have to give, 3 8-year-old little boys were savagely murdered in the woods. Not far from their homes. This was huge. This would be huge anywhere.
Of course.
This would be huge in the biggest city there is. I mean, this is huge no matter what. So people are freaked out. People are questioning all sorts of things. I would be questioning all sorts of things about life and the universe and what the hell's going on. There's parents who need answers. There's people that are all of a sudden rumors are starting to circulate now about who did it because that's going to happen in a small town.
Yep.
People are pointing fingers at people. And there's mutilation involved. This isn't just it would be awful no matter what, but it's not 3 kids killed in the woods. It's 3 kids I mean, when you go into the details about it, it's like,
savage.
What the fuck? That's like nightmare situation. Now, he said at the time, Satanist talk was already on everybody's lips.
Right.
Like, that was already starting to crop up, but it was really getting bad during this. And apparently the community and the police were already leaning hard into the narrative that this had to be some kind of sacrifice to Satan.
Perfect.
There's no way this was anything else but a ritualistic sacrifice to Satan. Now, nothing at this crime scene would suggest that.
Right.
But okay, I guess.
Like, there's nothing there to say that.
Like, I don't think there's anything that says I mean, I don't know much about Satan sacrifices. I have not read up on them much, but I don't know if hog tying is part of it. I don't know if throwing them in a lake is in a pond is part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of this is part of it. And there's nothing around that, like paraphernalia or anything that
That's
would
the
suggest
thing.
this. There's just there's no markings of any kind that I would.
Right.
Not that I don't understand what they were going. I think they were looking at it as, this is fucked up. We don't know how to handle this. People want answers. The devil. I think that's literally where it went.
Yeah.
That was the thought process from beginning to end.
Somebody probably was like, it's the devil's work. And like,
And they were like,
what's that called? Like a phrase.
Like just in an off that.
Yeah.
off
oh my God, this
yeah.
is the devil's work. And then somebody was like, oh shit, you're right.
And someone was like,
that's a lead.
fuck yeah, it's the devil's work.
Yeah.
Sacrifice to Satan. And
Yeah.
that was it.
And then
I
they
think
went
that's
with it.
literally it. Damien said that at this point, and everything else I read about this said at this point, preachers were using it as evidence of the end times. Like in all the sermons on every Sunday and they were like preaching that this meant that the end times are coming. This is it. It's signaling it.
That is so scary to me.
Yeah. And everyone was becoming suspect of anyone who was even remotely different.
Right.
Like, this is when they started picking out people and being like, you wear black, you must love Satan.
Or
And it's
you're
like,
a hairdresser.
What? Like, what is this? Or it's just slimming.
I was
right?
going to say, or it's a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's chic, okay? Get
Me
off of
currently.
Literally. So Damien also says that May 7th, when the news exploded about the bodies, that was the first time that the police had really started focusing in on him, at least by asking questions.
Right.
And by showing up to chat with him a lot.
Spook.
And by a lot, it was like every day.
Okay.
They literally talked to him every day. And he was like, what is happening?
He's like, yeah, I was not involved.
And he wasn't arrested yet, but they were trying to observe him more carefully, it seemed.
Right.
So it was around this time that we mentioned Jerry Driver, who used to do those little drive arounds to see if he could see like cult activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just living his fucking
That dude.
life.
One of his
straight up witch hunter.
One of his cohorts, James Sudbury, and Steve Jones, who was the one who first saw the floating shoe in the pond. They showed up to Damien's home to question him about any information he had about local satanic cults.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know.
He literally was like, they brought me into like, I guess he was like, we can go in my sister's room and talk, like, because his family was out there.
Yeah.
They sat in there and they were like, so do you know anything about satanic cults? And he was like, no. And then they were like, have you seen any around here? And he was like, nope. Pretty sure I would have known if I saw a satanic cult, like just a rogue satanic cult going through the fucking middle of the street. So he's like, no, I have not seen one. And then they also questioned him about his favorite book in the Bible.
Which is like, you can't do that.
No, it's very pertinent to the investigation, right?
No.
Absolutely it is.
Wrong.
Yeah. Because if you answer wrong, you did it.
Like,
right?
I'm going to be real with you.
That's how this works.
Like,
right?
I respect both sides, but I don't know any part of the Bible.
No, I can tell. And again, I respect religion.
Yeah.
By all means. I think religion is great. It does awesome
Gives you something
things.
to believe in.
I personally don't think I could name a book in the Bible. And
No,
that's
I
just me.
literally could not.
And if somebody was police officers were asking me because they were like questioning murder, I definitely couldn't come up with a book in the
I would
Bible.
literally say, thou shalt not steal.
I would
respect thy neighbor.
I'd be like,
that's about all I know.
I'd be like, the whole thing. The whole thing is
like,
my favorite.
I'm a big fan of all of it.
I'm a big fan.
Both testaments.
I don't know what he said at the time, but there was a point in Damien's, like, when he was going... He went through a period, and you'll see when we talk about it, where he was very interested in religions.
Yeah.
Not just one religion. He was just very interested in religions as a whole, because they are fascinating.
Yeah, there's fucking, like, college courses about different kinds of religions.
Theology and all that. So he became very interested in Catholicism. He considered becoming a priest at one point. Like, he was very into that.
Right.
In fact, that's where he says he was originally named Michael. And he changed his name to Damien, which of course people think is because of like the Omen.
Right.
No.
Was that even out?
The original one was.
Oh. I was like, that came out when I was like 4.
You're like, what? No, it was because he said there was a priest named Father Damien from the Hawaiian Islands, and he used to like work with lepers. And when he was into Catholicism and studying it, he really connected to that story, and he wanted to change his name when his stepfather adopted him because he was changing his last name. And he was like, I want to change my name to Damien.
Yeah.
And of course people were like, I just made that up. Who knows? Nobody knows but Damien, but
right.
I mean,
Seems
whatever.
pretty legit to me.
Seems like a cool reason to do that. I mean, that's a pretty cool dude to be named after.
Right.
So before they left him, after they asked him like stupid shit, they took a Polaroid photo of him.
Why?
And he was just like, okay. Like, and again, he said at the time, they're police officers. They're
you have to do what
telling
they say.
And you just trust them.
Right.
That's what you're saying, you're just like, okay, they want a Polaroid, I have to do a Polaroid.
Right.
So they took a photo of him, and then they used that photo to show around town to people and ask if they knew anything about this Satan worshiper in town.
Perfect.
Which, of course, got people to be like, that's very leading. Power of suggestion.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, yeah, you know what? I've seen that Satan worshiper worshiping Satan. And it's,
listening to Metallica.
Yeah, of course.
Backwards.
And people would literally, somebody said that he caused them to levitate.
That happens to me all the time.
And the police were like, yep, I bet that happened. Like, that was literally a piece of like investigative evidence that this man said he caused him to levitate.
I shit you not, this case is terrifying.
Oh, it gets so much more terrifying.
I just have to say this. It's like really disrespectful to the victims that this is how it was carried out.
Exactly. Because they were not looking for who actually killed these 3 little babies in their own neighborhood in the middle of the fucking afternoon.
And it's a mockery.
They were looking to close the case so that they didn't look like bumbling fucking idiots that they were.
Yep.
And they just wanted to close the case. Gary Gitchell was going to be retiring soon, and he wanted
like
this
one
case
last shebang.
closed, and he wanted to close on a big case.
Right.
And he got it. But he didn't put the people behind bars that did it. I'm sure people are going to argue with me about this, but I don't give a shit because I'm going to provide you with straight facts. You can decide for yourself, but I don't see any other way about this.
Nope.
The more you look into it, the more it just simply boggles your mind that these 3 were considered the absolute, the ones who did it.
Right.
It's beyond my mind. And the thing is, when I first looked into this case, I knew nothing about it. Before I had seen the Paradise Lost documentaries, before they even came out, I heard about the case. All I knew was that 3 8-year-old boys were like brutally mutilated in the woods and murdered.
Yeah.
And 3 teenage boys did it.
Yeah.
That's what I knew about the case.
Because that's what
And when I saw pictures of them, I was like, oh, they look a little like, they look a little tough in those pictures. Like they're all looking like, they all have like big mullets, and they just look like, I was like, yeah. Like, I just assumed they did it because I didn't know anything else.
Right.
Everything you saw was like, these 3 boys did it.
Right.
When I started looking into it, I was like, holy shit. And I went into it again thinking they did it. And I was completely turned around by the evidence.
Yeah.
So this is not me just coming up with this because I heard it or something like that. Like, I went into this on the other side a long time ago.
Right.
And then I researched and I made my own decision, and I think everybody else should do that too. So people said he caused them to levitate. Somebody else said that the police told them that they found body parts under Damien's bed. So someone said to when they were showing his picture, they were like, "Oh yeah, the police told me that they found body parts under Damien's bed."
Oh yeah, so
like,
of course you're going to be
what?
like, "Yeah, he's scary."
And in fact, in Paradise Lost, you can hear John Mark Byers, Christopher Byers' stepfather, repeat this rumor as if it's fact. He says it in one of his interviews. He's like, they found Christopher's genitals in a jar under Damien's bed. How are we not arresting him?
And it's
like he says it like this is fact.
Because that's what they were fed.
Exactly. And this is how much this was like really serious to people. Like people were taking these rumors and being like, yes, that is fact.
Right.
And the police were not only allowing it, but they were encouraging it. They were the ones doing it, and they were taking it as fucking evidence.
Right.
And it's insane. This could happen to fucking anyone. That's what's so scary
That's
about
the scary
it.
thing about it. If you're a little different.
Yeah. It's like, are you kidding? And later, John Mark Byers, we'll talk about this in part 3 or 4. Probably 3. We're going to talk about this, but he later changes his mind completely.
Right.
Completely about this. So that's just interesting. So this is when Damien said they showed up every single day to question him and accuse him of different cult activities every day. Then they started taking him to the police station to question him every day. So he's just like, okay, this is my life now. His grandmother sold her wedding rings to hire a lawyer.
Oh my God.
Because they were so nervous what was happening here. They were like, oh, we have to have a lawyer. The police wouldn't let the lawyer into the station.
Which is not legal.
And Damien says in the book, he's like, my grandmother sold her wedding rings for nothing.
Oh, that's so
I know.
sad. And that's not legal.
No, a lot of this was not legal.
Right. That's like one of the basic legalities is
this-
like you have the right to a lawyer.
Oh, yeah. But most of these boys were not told that right, or were not made to understand that right. The thing that Damien repeats in almost every interview since he was arrested is one that I think we can all relate to when it comes to police and like authority, is he answered their questions honestly because he figured if I didn't do it, then they can't prove I did it.
Right.
So he was like, I didn't see how this could end with me being charged because I didn't do it.
Right.
And there's no way you can prove that someone did what they didn't do.
And
we all
then
know
he
that
learned that now they can.
Yeah, that they definitely can. But especially as a teenager, you're like told to respect authority and police, and you trust them, and they're supposed to be, which most of them are. Like,
well, in your mind, you think they're looking for the real fucking person that did it.
And that's the thing. And I mean, I would like to think that most of them are. And it's but then you get these departments that are just so fucking crooked. And it's like, it spoils it for the rest of them.
Sorry.
Ash just almost threw a can across the fucking laundry room. She's so angry.
A can of ginger ale just went flying.
A can of ginger ale. So they took him into the station before they arrested him, and they kept him for 8 hours.
Whoa.
They had to let him go because they had nothing on him.
Right.
Again, it's not looking like they have this solid case if they can't keep him longer than that.
Exactly.
So June 3rd, Damien, Jason Baldwin, and Damien's sister Michelle, and Damien's girlfriend Dominique Tier were at Damien's trailer. They were watching Leprechaun.
Huh. Oh my God, I was just telling your daughter about leprechauns today.
Oh, I was like, you were telling them about Leprechaun? I was like, I hope not.
No, leprechauns.
Yeah, the horror movie Leprechaun. Damien's parents and grandmother were at a casino for the evening. So, like, they had all come. Jason had come over. They were going to watch horror movies because that's just what they did.
Right.
That's also what I did.
It's also what we did before you had kids.
Literally. So, suddenly the police come slamming at the door out of nowhere. This is at like 10:30 at night.
Right.
Damien opened the door. 3 cops had guns pointed in his face. They handcuffed him and threw him into a cop car, and then they did the same for Jason.
Okay.
All the while, Jason is saying, "What is this for?" And they were saying, "For murder. You're being arrested for murder."
And he's like,
he kept
what?
saying, "You have the wrong guy. You have the wrong people." Because he was like, "I think they have the wrong." Like literally,
like
they came to the wrong house. Like he was like, "What the fuck?" And I also read a story that said, and I'll talk more about like Jason's upbringing. He usually, I think this was a Wednesday night or something like that, and every Wednesday his mom had to work late, and he took care of his younger brothers, and he would like make them dinner, and he had to be there those nights that his mom worked late, like it was like his job.
Right.
And because he had just finished 10th grade and he did well in school, his mom hired a babysitter and was like, "You go hang out with your friends to celebrate."
Stop.
Yeah, and this is what happens.
Wow. This
So-
case breaks my fucking heart.
It's so heartbreaking on so many levels. Like,
Yeah.
from
Every
just root to
aspect.
finish. It's like, so once at the police station, Damien was told by Gary Gitchell that his friend had already confessed and that he should just come clean.
Damien was told that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damien had no idea what that meant because he was like, are they talking about Jason? Like,
Yeah.
he was like, my friend told, like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, what did he confess? I don't understand what is happening here. He didn't have any information, so they put him in a cell and left him there until morning. So June 4th at 10 a.m., he was brought into a courtroom where Jason and Jessie Kelley were also arraigned, and they were all arraigned separately.
Okay.
They were all arraigned on 3 counts of capital murder for the
God.
murders of Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Stephen Branch.
Right.
They pled not guilty. At this point, the judge mentioned a confession to Damien, and he was like, okay. And so the judge was like, do you want me to read the confession out loud, or do you want to read it yourself? And he wrote, read it.
Yeah.
Or he said, read it. And he said the judge got a little flustered and was like, I'm just going to give it to you to read. And Damien was like, once you read this confession, you see why he didn't want to read it out loud to a courtroom full of people.
Oh,
because
shit.
it is the most fucked up, farce. It's not a confession.
Right.
It is so beyond. And I'm going to go over it. Don't you worry. I have clips of it and we're going to pull it all apart.
Oh, God.
So the judge actually said, you can read it. And by this point, he had no idea who confessed and to what.
Right.
So he was like,
cool, hand it over. What the fuck?
So as it turns out, Jessie Kelley had confessed to the murders of Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Steve Branch. And he had said that Jason and Damien were the ones who killed them, but he was implicated in it.
Okay.
So what's not mentioned anywhere is that there were actually 2 other suspects aside from these 3.
Oh, shit.
Before these
I didn't
3.
actually even know that.
Yeah, these 3 became suspects after these 2. Their names were Chris Morgan and Brian Holland. They had rap sheets for like drug offenses and shit. 4 days after the little boys' bodies were discovered, they just abruptly pieced out of Arkansas and went to Oceanside, California.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So Morgan apparently was slightly familiar with these victims because he had driven an ice cream truck route in their neighborhood.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they were arrested in Oceanside on May 17th of 1993, and they both took polygraph exams by the California police.
Yeah.
And they were said to have indicated deception when they said anything about the murders.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was actually noted. There was actual documentation of that.
Exactly. There's actual record of this. Then they were questioned. And Morgan said, well, I've done a lot of drugs. I've used alcohol heavily. And then he said, I have a lot of blackouts and memory lapses. And he said, he, quote, might have killed the boys.
Oh.
Yeah. California police contacted the West Memphis police and were like, hey, yo,
he
guess
might
what
have
we have?
killed people.
They also sent blood and urine samples from them to the West Memphis police. There's no indication that they investigated these 2 boys or did anything.
That's so fucked up.
They didn't follow up on it.
They were like, oh, no, we have the people.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't let Morgan's statement that he might have killed the boys into trial. It was barred from, they couldn't be admitted into evidence.
This is so, I don't even, like, how do you have the power to do that?
Yeah, because it fucked up their whole narrative.
Right.
Now, let's give a little background into Damien, Jason, and Jessie, because I think it's important for people to know who these 3 are, too. So all 3 of these boys were extremely poor. Poor that most of us can't and don't want to ever imagine. They were easy targets. Very easy. Damien was born Michael Hutchinson on December 11th, 1974. He had a younger sister, Michelle, and his name later came from stepfather Jack Echols. That's why. His mother, father, and stepfathers were all very troubled. His whole family was just troubled is a very mild way of putting it.
Okay.
The family was not happy, not functioning. They were so poor. They were poorer than most of us can even comprehend. Social workers were called at various times, and every social worker agreed that this family was a fucking mess and that those kids were in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, should have been taken out of there.
Oh, that's really sad.
Jack, when his mother divorced his father and met this man named Jack at church.
Okay.
Jack came into the family. He introduced Damien and his family to a church called Church of God. And it was those kind of churches where people speak in tongues and scream and yell.
Okay.
And he said that you would be invited up to be healed, and healing included smearing olive oil all over your face and shoving you to the ground while screaming at you in tongues.
Oh.
Which, like, if that's your thing, I mean,
all the power to you.
Yeah, like definitely like go forth with that. But like he was in 4th grade at the time.
It's a little much for children.
I feel like that's a little scary. Jack forced them to go to this church, which I don't think you should ever force a child into a religion, but that's just me. If you want to do that, cool.
Live your best
but
life.
That's just me. They had to go all week, and he would stand over them to force them to pray every night.
Wow.
Which is like, are you really getting a good prayer out if someone's standing behind you being like, I will fuck you up if you don't pray?
I wouldn't know.
I'd just be praying that this guy would go away.
I'd be like, I hope he doesn't fuck me up. I hope this prayer is good enough.
I'd be praying that he leaves.
God, are you there? It's me, Margaret.
Seriously. Well, one night, Damien said that Jack punched his Chihuahua Pepper in the face because it jumped up on the bed while they were praying.
Because it's a dog.
This dude was an asshole of the highest order.
That hurts my heart.
So soon he moved the family into the church.
They lived in the church?
Yup. The back of the church had decrepit old rooms, and he forced them to move in there.
Okay.
Jack abused Damien physically and mentally. His mother just let it all happen.
Good.
She forced him to call Jack Dad.
Oh, that's
and to
fucked
take
up.
his name. And to this day, he says he feels like the most betrayed by his mother.
Oh.
And he'll say, like, my mother was not a bad person. She's like had me young. She did what she could do. Like there were like he mentions something. He says she loved me like the only way she knew how.
Right.
Like he kind of gives that kind of like
I
solace
give
to
so
it.
much credit to people that can say that.
But he also says like she's dramatic.
Yeah.
She loves to be involved in this whole thing. She loves to act like she was a great mother and she's not. Like he's very real about his parents.
Right.
And he says like he's like she loved me in this way. Like when I was like wheezing and like struggling to breathe from bronchitis one night, she would sit by me all night and like rub my head whilst chain smoking cigarettes.
Oh.
So it was like, here, I'm going to do half a mom thing and also chain smoke. Like he was like, you know, that's who she was.
Right.
So, you know, this is the kind of family that's happening here.
This is sad. This is really bleak.
Yeah, this is pretty bleak. They then moved the family into a literal shack that was on like a big hill. And it was owned by a farmer and he charged them $30 a month for it.
Okay.
The shack had like a literal like metal roof and no running water, no electricity, no toilets, and it was filled with garbage and rats.
Oh.
And he said in the winter it was so cold that there was ice inside, and in the summer it was so boiling, like literally the metal roof.
Yeah.
That you would literally just boil in there. Yeah.
Why?
And when they would use like a wood stove for warmth in the winter, it would just fill the whole place with black smoke.
Oh my God.
So they'd just be like coughing and hacking and breathing in smoke.
Like, why can't we just live in our trailer?
Yeah, no, they cannot. They couldn't even afford a trailer. Oh. That's the thing. They don't get a trailer until later.
Okay.
So he met Jason Baldwin in junior high. They bonded over metal bands and horror, and they hung out every single day. Oh. They became brothers, they said. They were like, we were each other's brother.
I love that.
In the book, Damien says, quote, "We shared everything we had, food, clothes, money, whatever. If one of us had it, both of us had it. It was known without having to be said."
I love a brotherhood.
And that's like real friendship.
Retweet if you love a brotherhood.
Like, isn't that real friendship right there?
Yes.
Damien started dressing in a black trench coat. He wore black all the time. I think he went through like a skateboard phase too. He was literally like trying to find.
We've all been there.
We've all been through a skateboard phase.
We've all been through it, honestly.
But he liked to wear a black trench coat, which of course got him marked as the kid with the black trench coat.
Oh, God.
He's the devil. And he adopted kind of a dickish way of interacting with people. I can't imagine why.
Well, probably because he was just like, you all suck.
Like, I mean, when you've grown up that way, I can imagine your
I'd
only
be a
defense.
dick as well.
Yeah, you just don't want people around you, I'd assume. And he was the exact opposite of the people in the town. He had long black hair that was... He said often people would cite that it was dyed black hair. It was natural jet black hair.
Right.
That he was like, I did not dye my hair. This is just
and you
what
can
came
tell
out
in
of my
prison.
head. And you can see his father. His father has jet black hair as well.
Right.
He had super pale skin. He used to like shave one side of his head, which is like, it's so funny because now, like, and especially like bring him into the Northeast.
Right.
And he's like fucking cool as shit looking and like super like hipster and all, like, whoa, look at that dude.
Right.
And it's like put him in another place in the country and it's like, whoa, it's the devil. It's just so interesting how America is so different in every corner of it.
It really is.
So Jason was also dirt poor, and he was like a little metalhead with like a seriously intense mullet.
Oh my God, he was so fucking adorable.
To say
I can't.
His mullet was impressive
we'll post it.
Is an understatement.
The mullet was the mullet.
That boy committed to the mullet.
No, you know what?
He
you
took
know what?
care of that mullet.
It wasn't a mullet. It was the mullet.
It was.
It was not a mullet. It was
really
the
was.
mullet.
It was the mullet. It was like several mullets came together to form mega mullet. That's what it was.
A mullet showdown.
Yeah. So Jason's dad left when he was 4.
Oh,
how do you leave a
angel?
4-year-old? His mom, Gail, suffered from schizophrenia. He had 2 younger brothers that he became another parent to, essentially.
Yeah.
She would sometimes go off her medication. She would have some trouble. She would leave that she was going to the store. She wouldn't come back for like a day or 2, you know what I mean? And he picked up the slack.
He was like their dad.
And he just did it. So, and it was hard for her to function normally as their mother a lot of the times.
Of course, she was struggling,
but she did her absolute best. And with the medication she was on, she would have moments where she was like really in with it. He was also super close with his mother. He often said how much he respected and appreciated how hard she worked to support him and his siblings.
What an angel!
And like he just kind of was like, I understood that she had a mental health issue that she was trying to deal with, but she was also trying to do everything. Like she was working hard.
And she had 3 fucking kids.
And you look at her and like when you see interviews with her, you're just like, you poor woman. Like
going
through what she went through, she did her best, and now she's so like adamant about Jason being like, he's a good kid and like he didn't do this, and it's like not one of those where you hear, you know, the parent, he's a good kid,
right?
And it's like, you know,
she's like, no, he's
like he takes care of his siblings, like he's an actual good kid, like he really is. So Damien met Jessie Kelley when one summer day in high school, he went to Jason's house and Jason's mother told him that Jason was at Jessie's.
Okay.
And it was only like a couple trailers down. They saw each other around, but they didn't really hang out.
Yeah.
Jason just lived near Jessie, but wasn't truly friends with him. It was one of those things you just like see him every once in a while.
Right.
Jessie Kelley was born July 10th, 1975. He had the word bitch tattooed on his chest.
Did he really? I didn't even know that.
Which people were wondering like what that means, and I've heard a lot of people say like they think it was probably one of those things like where he was trying to be cool and got bitch on his chest. Like no, he hasn't really said what that means. If he's the bitch or if it was like about someone else.
Yeah. He
He also had like a skull and dagger tattoo. He had like a couple of other like really like just normal like I'm a tough kid tattoos.
Right.
He had an IQ of 72, which is borderline mentally challenged. It's actually considered borderline to intellectual functioning.
Oh.
Yeah. At 7 years old, he still couldn't say the ABCs and couldn't count past 15.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah. By age 11, he had only made it to the 3rd grade. Usually you are like 8 or 9 in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
He was a fighter. He was definitely a fighter, but he was a fighter because he was really tiny.
Yeah.
He was a tiny kid. He had, and he kind of felt like he had to make up for his stature.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure people made fun of him.
Well, and that's the thing. And people made fun of him, but also his mother abandoned the family when he was a baby. And he had 9 half siblings. His family was described as loving but rough by psychologists. So his half siblings would literally like beat him up and like make fun of him and stuff. So he felt like he constantly needed to be on guard and fighting.
Right.
And he says that. He's like, I just felt like I had to be like taller and bigger and stronger than everybody by fighting. So Jessie absolutely adored his father, but he also acknowledged that he drank like a fish and he was a really rough guy.
Yeah.
And Jessie definitely dealt with physical abuse.
Right.
By his father, for sure.
That's really sad.
But he was so loyal to his father. It's one of those situations
all like, throughout this entire fucking thing too.
It's like the Gabriel Fernandez thing, which I know everybody wants us to cover, but I'm going to be honest with you,
I don't think we're covering
I don't know if we'll cover that. I'm not saying we definitely won't. Stay tuned, but it doesn't look like
I'm saying that I won't be here for that if we cover it.
But in that one, it's like you see that like kids that are abused or have really rough upbringings like still care for their parents so much and are so loyal to them. In early high school, Damien met a girl named Deanna. She became his first love. Deanna was a Wiccan, even though she came from an extremely Christian family. She taught Damien about it, and he loved the religion.
Yeah, because it's all about the earth.
Yeah, and he was like, I love goddesses. I'm into this. Like, I love it. Later it was used to convict him, basically.
Right. But like that's the other thing that's frustrating about that is like Satanism and Wiccan are not the same thing.
Well, and at the time, I don't even think Wicca was acknowledged as an actual religion,
right,
by like the government. Like,
right.
I don't think it's it is now.
So nobody had any understanding of what it actually was. It was.
Just they're witches. Like that's what it was.
It's so stupid.
So Deanna and he had a crazy intense relationship. Like, crazy. They talked about running away together all the time. They were very on and off. And on the last day of classes, they made their move and they decided to run away together.
Oh.
The two of them, along with Jason, were hanging out on their way out of town, and Deanna's parents called the cops.
No.
They did.
I wish they could have just gotten away.
So Deanna and Damien decided to spend the night at an abandoned trailer. That night, police found them and arrested them both. Mm-hmm. They were taken to separate jails. They had stolen nothing out of the trailer, but they were charged with burglary and sexual misconduct.
What?
Because they caught them, like, in the act, I think.
Oh, that sucks.
But, like, they're both...
like, they were 18?
They're teens. Like,
right.
Well, and also it's like it's like they're teenagers. Whatever.
Right.
This is where he met Jerry Driver.
Oh, goody.
So this is when Jerry Driver comes in.
Jerry Driver's like, I don't like you.
He's like, I'm a be obsessed with you for years to come, boy.
Jesus Christ.
So the juvenile officer who would later become obsessed with him was Jerry fucking Driver. He immediately started questioning Damien about Satanists in town and such. He was then forced into a psych hospital. Damien was. After rumors spread, while he was being held at the jail, rumors spread that he and Deanna had intended to have a baby and then sacrifice that baby to Satan.
Oh.
Which is like, I'm sorry. Did they have clear written plans of this? Because I don't
Or is this just hearsay?
Meanwhile, the staff at the juvenile detention center he was held at said he treated everyone with the, quote, utmost respect.
Yeah.
They were like, he did not seem like this crazy wild child. And there was no real evidence of this supposed plan to sacrifice a baby.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah. And so Driver said that he had told him, quote, I think his claim was that he was a Wiccan and he worshipped goddesses. He looked like one of the slasher movie type guys. Boots, coat, long, stringy black hair, though he cut it short sometimes. So he's like, he looked weird.
Right.
So I think he did it.
You can't just arrest people because they look weird, Jerry.
And also he looked like those slasher movie guys. Like, what slasher movie guy is like, that's what? Like, he's wearing clothes and he has long hair? That's not a slasher movie guy. That's just a guy.
Yeah, you're stupid,
like,
Jerry. You're real stupid.
So he spent several weeks in this psych hospital after this incident. Now, Deanna had been released because normally this is a misdemeanor at best.
Right.
And they would just be released.
Which also,
maybe,
like, barely.
Maybe on probation. Deanna was already released to her family.
Of course.
Damien somehow was still being held for this. Only for this.
Right.
So it's like, what now? And all the while, Jerry Driver, while he's spending time in the psych hospital, he did this so that he could go out and form a case against him.
Uh-huh.
So he's asking teens all around about satanic shit and Damien. He showed up at his parents' trailer and convinced his mother to allow him to confiscate things from his room.
Oh, God.
Which is not within his jurisdiction. And Damien had like a skull collection, samesies.
I was going to say, I literally have 3 skulls on my nightstand.
Which was used against him, of course.
Right.
After his few weeks spent in the psych hospital, he was then released back to his parents, who were now back together. His biological father was now back together with his mother. Apparently she had kicked Jack Echols to the curb.
Well, that's good.
He was diagnosed with depression and possible bipolar manic depressive disorder.
Damien was?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they said that he was not a harm to himself or others. He was allowed to be released.
Yeah.
His mother had left Jack Echols because he was an asshole, and also because Damien's little sister, Michelle, alleged that he had molested her.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So now his dad lived in Aloha, Oregon. I say Oregon right. I just want to put that out there. So the family took a week-long road trip to Oregon.
Okay.
From the psych hospital.
Okay.
When he got there, he met with another juvenile officer because now he was in the system. He was going to have to meet with the juvenile officer in the next state he was going to.
Yeah.
This juvenile officer asserted that he should be minimally supervised for 4 months.
Okay.
Like, he was like, I'm not really worried about it. Let's just do this.
Right.
And then he should be released from the system because he was just a regular goth kid. Well, Jerry Driver wasn't having that.
Of course not.
No. Because he knows better. So the police were called within a few months because Damien's parents said that they were afraid he was going to hurt himself.
Okay.
He was placed into another hospital setting. He said he wasn't intending to hurt himself, but was depressed because he missed Deanna and he also missed his best friend Jason.
Oh.
Now, It was also widely known that his family was severely troubled, so he was miserable.
Right, and he needed his friends and his girlfriend.
He was not happy. So he was seen and assessed and released because they saw no threat. He was going to be 18, and his parents were like, we don't want you back. So he was like, cool, I don't want to go back. So he asked if he could go back to Arkansas, where he was going to reluctantly live with Jack Echols until he got himself on his feet. So Driver met him at the train station when he arrived in Arkansas and immediately threw him in juvenile detention.
For what?
So it was literally because he said by making threats to his family that he was going to hurt himself or others, he had violated his parole. So he was like, now I'm going to throw you back in juvenile detention. When he was eventually released again, he was under Driver's probation now.
Oh, good.
So Driver said he had to get a GED. He had to check with him every week. So he did all of these things. He got a GED.
Yeah.
He did all the things. And Driver still didn't give a shit. He was also now 18 and not supposed to be under juvenile detention.
Right.
Like probation. So they started looking at Damien and his now girlfriend, Dominique. They also honed in on Jason now because Jason hung out with Damien.
Right.
That's the only reason they honed in on Jason.
That's not fair.
Nope, not at all. Jason later said, quote, others didn't like us. They'd been accusing me of being a Satanist since I was in the 6th grade. It was because I had long hair and wore concert t-shirts with bands like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and Ozzy Osbourne and U2.
U2 is so hardcore.
Like, wow.
He knew back then that they were going to
did.
infiltrate everybody's iTunes.
He did. He was like, that's metal. Damien and I kind of dressed different. He too wasn't living his desired life. And just like my mom, he suffered from depression.
Aww.
I think that our friendship helped him. So this brings us back now to May 1993. Now that you have information about
backstories.
them. When Stephen Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore were brutally murdered. At this point, Damien's parents had moved back to Arkansas, and he moved back in with them.
Oh, okay.
So now he's living with his parents again in Arkansas in a trailer. Police came to question Jason at his trailer about the murders, and they said that on the night of the murders, they had gone, quote, they had gone to Jason's uncle's house, and Jason had cut the lawn. Damien phoned his father to pick them up at the laundromat at Missouri in North Washington. They then were picked up at 6 p.m., and Damien's father took Jason and Dominique home, and Damien went home. Now, they were then questioned without being Mirandized and without their parents present.
Mm-hmm.
This is at Jason's trailer.
Right.
The police just showed up. They talked to him. They're like, what did you do that day? Damien and Dominique were there. So at this point, when they start questioning them illegally, Damien said his girlfriend Dominique was 4 months pregnant with his child.
Yeah.
He said the crimes committed to those boys were sick, and when asked what he thought killed the boys, he repeated what the newspapers had said, mutilations and such, because it was in the newspaper.
Right.
They used this as he must have been there because he said mutilations when it was in all the newspapers.
Right.
Then they asked, do you believe in God or the devil? Again,
that has there like some in between, and also it's not pertinent.
You can't ask me that.
Right?
Why the fuck does that matter? Because if they asked me that, I'd be like, well, I'm an atheist.
Right?
What does that mean? Are you going to arrest me now?
Right?
That has nothing to do with anything. Like, what the fuck?
And it's also not black and white. Like, it's not just God or the devil, and you can't ask me that.
Well, and Damien kind of answers that way. He says, quote, I believe in a God, but a female God. Evil force, not the devil.
Right.
And that's kind of, it makes sense.
Right.
At this point, Jason was asked the same questions, but then his mother, Gail, arrived on scene and told the officers,
like, get the fuck out of my house.
In little words, go fuck yourselves and leave. Like,
right.
You can't just question my child out in front of my house.
Right.
So at this point, a neighbor that was living close to Jessie Kelley named Vicki Hutchinson. She was 30, I think she was 32 at the time. She was a waitress. She had been watching all this happen and seeing all like the hubbub. And Damien and Jason were becoming suspects a little bit now. So she was like, I want to be involved in this in some way. Now, she had been taken into the police station earlier in the month for fraud charges.
Oh, good. And
while she was there, she brought her 8-year-old son, Aaron, because when you go to the police station up on fraud charges, you should bring your 8-year-old child.
Yeah.
Aaron was friends with the victims.
Okay.
He was also 8 years old, so it makes sense. He made statements about a black man in a maroon van picking the victims up from school the day they were murdered.
Okay.
This is a lie because they went right home after school.
Right.
They didn't get picked up from anyone. And also, one of them lived like right next to the school.
Right.
They didn't ever get like
picked up.
No, yeah. And none of the all the parents are like, no, that did not. They came right home.
Right.
So that's just a lie. And later it comes out that Aaron lied a lot. So he says that. So police buy it. Of course. Let's go with that.
8-year-old truth is 8-year-old truth.
They loved
right?
it. So they bring Vicky back in because they're like, let's chat some more. You got some information. And while they're talking to her, she, in her words, playfully suggested that she become an informant.
Oh, God.
Mainly because she just wanted to be involved. Well, they took her up on it.
Of course they did.
A random 30-something-year-old waitress who is not involved in this at all. They were like, yeah, you should probably be involved in this.
Right.
Like, you fucking kidding me? She knew Jessie. He had babysat for her children.
Yeah.
And she started asking Jessie about the murders and about his relationship with Damien and Jason. He told her he didn't really know Damien at all. He thought he was weird. And he was like, I don't really know him. He just seems weird. But like, whatever. And he said he knew Jason from like 2nd grade. And he was like, and he's a really nice kid. But like, we don't really hang out that much. Vicky asked to be introduced to them. And Jessie was like, that's weird, but okay. So one night when he saw Damien and Jason, he told them to come to Vicky's trailer to meet her. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, they're
sure.
like, we're not doing anything else.
Yeah, and it was like a 15-minute meeting. That was it. At the time, Vicky had set up like occult books that she got at the library and made it like somewhat spooky.
Wow.
Because she thought it would make them like more comfortable.
Feel at home.
Yeah. So... No, Vicky told police. So the police knew this was happening. They wanted her to do this. They had bugged her trailer.
Oh.
And they were going to record any incriminating statements. Now, he didn't say anything incriminating. She said the recording was crystal clear. You could hear everything. But police later said it wasn't a good recording. And it somehow just got lost.
Oh. Yeah. Just like everything else in this case.
I imagine it's because they didn't say anything incriminating. So they were like, well, that's that.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app. The sooner you start investing, the more potential you have to build your money, even for beginners. SoFi makes it simple with an easy-to-use app. To get you going, SoFi is offering up to $1,000 in stock when you open up and fund a SoFi self-directed brokerage account. Terms apply. Learn more at SoFi.com/SXM. Brokerage offered through SoFi Securities, LLC. Member FINRA/SIPC.
The Colonel's cooked up a new $10 bucket of the day just for you. Monday, 24 nuggets for $10. Tuesday, 8-piece fried chicken for $10. Wednesday, 10 wings for $10. Thursday, 8 tenders for $10. Friday, 24 nuggets for... Ooh, you guessed it, didn't you? $10. The $10 bucket of the day deal. Every weekday. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax extra.
Now, Vicky told police that during this whole thing, that she and Damien started an 8-day affair.
Stop.
She's a 30-something, by the way, and he's, I think, just turned 18.
Right.
Which I guess it's like legal question mark, but like...
But also, like, wrong.
Really? Like, this kid is supposedly a murderer of an 8-year-old, and you have an 8-year-old son?
Yeah.
I'm
Vicky,
sorry.
you need to get more busy.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, Vicky. This turned out to later be false. By the way.
Of course.
In that one evening on May 19th, 1993, he brought her to an espat.
What is that?
Which is, she was told by Jerry Driver, is a witches' gathering.
Oh.
You know. So she said Damien drove in a red Ford Escort. She drove her and Jessie there, and that there was a big orgy in the woods in this field with people naked and painted in black paint. And she got so upset because she's such a good Christian woman and wanted to leave, so Damien agreed.
Okay.
But she said they dropped Jessie off at the witch orgy and Damien drove her home.
Cool, Vicky. Sounds like you have some vivid dreams, sis.
Seems legit.
Like,
I don't
what?
know. I see nothing wrong yet. Now, a few things here. Damien doesn't drive, And that's actually well known and well documented by all police. He did not have a license. He did not know how to drive.
Yeah.
And a red Ford Escort belonged to no one.
Right.
They never found this red Ford Escort. Nobody in anybody's family drove one. Wasn't a thing. So, like, cool.
Like Vicky, sis.
Also, Jessie was like, what the fuck? No, I did not go to in a spot.
Yeah,
like, that
I was
did
with
not
my dad,
happen.
thank you.
Like, no. He's like, sounds rad, but I did not go.
I was going to say, sounds like a fucking party. Wish I was invited.
Like, shit. But police believed her with zero evidence.
Duh.
Just her word.
It's Vicky.
They were like, that's it.
It's Vicky, Alaina.
It's Vicky. So she had an 8-year-old son, Aaron, like I said. And Aaron also told police that there was occult activity in the area. He had seen it, and it was involving Jessie, Damien, and Jason.
Oh, yeah.
So the police were like, got it, done.
Or maybe he's
cool.
just listening to his mom's phone calls.
Exactly. Well, later, after she had already testified under oath at their murder trial about this, literally told this story under oath at a capital murder trial, Vicky admitted that the entire thing was fabricated. She said the police told her what to say and threatened to take her child away if she didn't do it.
Oh my God.
Aaron later said that he also lied because police told him to.
Jesus Christ.
Now, this spot tale was from Driver, of course.
Yeah.
According to the Arkansas Times, quote, this is what Vicky said. Well, we were sitting there and he, Driver, goes, okay, what really needs going here is, I guess that maybe Victoria goes to one of those meetings they have in a spot. So Hutchinson says that when detectives tape recorded interviews with her, quote, they would shut the tape off and tell me, no, that's not how it happened, Victoria. You come up with something better.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah. This was all used to arrest Damien.
Right.
And Jason and Jessie.
Right.
So
they already knew what they were going to do. So they were like, okay, let's make this as good as we can.
And literally, like Jerry Driver, they said, so Vicky said, I mean, her name's Victoria, but they call her Vicky.
Yeah, whatever.
She said they would meet at like this weird storage facility with her, the police. And Vicky. And they would like tell her what to do, what to say with them. Like they suggested that they make her shit spooky so that Damien felt more at home. Like all
meanwhile, he's
shit.
like, what the fuck are your books
like,
about?
what?
Like, bye.
And
why are you hanging out with me, 30-year-old lady?
This is when she later admitted that the only time she ever spoke to Damien Echols was during the 15 minutes when they came to her trailer.
Right.
But all of a sudden, this fabricated story of an affair and in a spot was...
She needs a hobby.
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple more tables.
Yeah. A couple more tables.
Vicky, you've been...
Give that woman a table.
You've been 86'd.
Give that woman a party of 20.
Yeah.
Stat.
Now. Yesterday.
She said that they would meet, they would tell her what to say, and Jerry Driver was the one that was like, you know what? Let's create a spot.
I was just going to say, a spot.
Let's do it. So after all these rumors were flying, because it's a small place and shit gets around fast, and also the police and Jerry Driver were literally walking around with their photos, calling them satanic cult leaders.
Right.
People were saying that they talked to Damien and he told them that he killed the boys.
Of course.
This happened a lot, and many of these things were proven false, or the people admitted to straight up lying.
Oh, good.
Out of it. Some of them said, like, there was we'll get into this during the trial, but some of them would say, like, they overheard him say something, but they didn't actually hear him say that. They heard him say something like that, and they knew he was talking about the boys. Like, that's the kind of shit that went on trial.
How is that allowed?
It shouldn't be. So June 2nd, 1993, Vicky Hutchinson asked Jessie to stay over her trailer because there were reports of like some scary peeping Tom around and she was nervous.
Right.
So Jessie says, of course, and he sleeps on her couch with a gun, literally to keep her safe.
That's nice.
Yeah. The next morning at 9 a.m., detectives came to the trailer and asked to speak to him at the station. They were with Jessie's dad, so he said he felt safe, and he agreed. He said, quote, he said we was going to the police department. I didn't know what was going on, but I wasn't scared. At the time, I didn't know what they wanted to talk to me about. So they get this borderline mentally challenged teenager in a police station, and they say because of his age, they have to tell his dad to sign something so they can question him.
Right.
Again, they're not giving him like any information. He's just feeling like, what? And he's like, totally, you can get my dad's signature. I'll talk to you. No problem. So they take him back to his dad, and on the way to his dad, they tell him that there's a $35,000 reward, for any information, and if he could provide it, his family would get that money.
Oh, okay.
So he literally said that the police told him, quote, he said if I knew anything to tell the police, and then my dad could buy himself a new truck.
Stop.
Yeah.
And he loves his dad.
He does, and he
so
just
much.
wants his dad to buy a new truck. So he told them he heard things about the victims from friends and that he saw some kids on the service road leading to Robin Hood Hills that day, but that's it. Then they gave him a polygraph.
Uh-huh.
So these assholes told Jessie that the polygraph test could read people's minds.
Oh.
Like, they were literally like, it reads your mind. That's what it does.
Nope.
That's
wrong.
not how that works.
Also, they're not even admissible as evidence.
No, they're not. Well, and then they questioned him. So Gary Gitzel led him through this confession shamelessly. According to Jessie, quote, they asked me, how did I know so much about the murder if I didn't do it? I kept telling him I didn't know who did it. I just knew of it. What my friend told me. That they kept hollering at me. Gary Gitchell and Brian Ridge both. They kept saying they know I had something to do with it because other people done told them. After I told them what the boys were wearing, Gary Gitchell told me, was any of them tied up? That's when I went along with him. I repeated what he told me to. I said, yes, they was tied up. He asked, what was they tied up with? I told him rope. He got mad. He said, God damn it, Jessie, don't mess with me. He said, no, they was tied up with shoestrings. I had to go all through the story again until I got it right.
Oh, no.
They hollered at me until I got it right. So whatever he was telling me, I started telling him back. But I figured something was wrong because if I'd killed him, I'd know how I'd done it.
Right.
None of this was tape recorded, by the way.
Why? They didn't want to tape record
Can't
them
imagine.
feeding a story to somebody who's mentally challenged?
Yeah. Now, the whole time, Jessie says that they just told him what to say and yelled it until he said it back. And he just wanted to go home to his dad, and they kept telling him that he could if he cooperated.
And he's like, cool, I'm cooperating.
And again, this is a mentally challenged teenager.
Right.
This is a borderline intellectually functioning teenager who is already functioning at a way lower level than what his actual age should be.
And they knew that, and they fucking used it to their advantage.
And they did know that, and they actually claimed that they had no idea. They had no idea that he had any mental deficiency at all. They had no idea.
Yeah, sure.
And later, during this confession that I'm about to get into, you're going to see they definitely knew. They definitely knew right from the get-go.
Right.
So they then showed him a photo of one of the kids at the coroner's office.
Oh God! And those pictures, I saw one by accident the other day. They're horrifying.
Yeah, and that's some of you guys have said that you were like, either I stumbled upon them or I went looking for them, like thinking that they couldn't be that bad, and
they're
I regret
horrible.
it. They're horrible. They will ruin your life. They then. So then they decided to tape the interview after they prepped him. So they showed him this photo, scared the shit out of him. They then played an audio clip to him after showing him the dead child. It was Aaron Hutchinson's voice on this audio. But Jessie would only find this out way later. He had no idea who this child was. And it was a creepy small child voice saying, nobody knows what happened but me.
Ugh.
And it was like this little like whispered voice.
That's terrifying. Why did they do that?
They put none of this in their notes, by the way. They did all this, but they put none of it down in the official record.
Right.
They did it because it was going to fuck them up.
That's so... How do you even think of that?
Well, and this is when they started the confession tapes. Now, I don't know how anyone can honestly convince me that this is not the most obvious leading of a person ever on planet Earth. It's criminal. Like, straight up
the
criminal.
whole fucking case is.
And also... Just to be clear, the police, again, claim that they didn't know he had a mental handicap. But
Right.
you are going to see they did.
Yeah.
Clearly. They don't even try to hide it. So, let's see. The first thing I'm going to play a quick clip, and then I'm going to yell about how terrible it is. So, here's the first one.
Same.
Let's go straight to that date, 5/5 of 93. A Wednesday, early in the morning. You received a phone call, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And who made that phone call?
Jason Baldwin.
All right. What occurred? What did he talk about?
He called me and asked me could I go to West Memphis with him, and I told him no, I had to work and stuff. And then he told me he had to go to West Memphis, so him and Damien went. Then I went with him.
All right. When?
Wednesday.
All right. When did you go with them?
That morning.
At 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So he says 9 a.m. Nope. Kids were in school. And also, Jason was confirmed in school that day.
Right.
9 a.m., they were all in school. So
that makes no sense
already.
Now, were you in a car? Whose car were you on?
So he asks him whether he was in a car, and then before the answer, he asks him to follow up like it was a yes. He's like, were you in a car? What car were you in?
Right.
So now Jesse's just like, this person's
He's like,
car.
okay, obviously I was.
Yeah, he just goes with it.
Where did you go?
We went to Robin Hood.
You went to the Robin Hood. Explain to me where those woods are.
About Blue Beacon, Turquoise.
Just a little patch of woods.
Little patch of woods.
Behind Blue Beacon?
Behind it. Right back there behind it.
Okay.
So now he never said behind Blue Beacon. He never said behind.
Right, but as soon as they were like, oh, you were behind it, he's like, yeah.
Well, that's it. So he's like, a little patch of woods, a little patch of woods. It's literally like, I'm going to repeat what you say because that's what you want me to do. And then he's like, behind Blue Beacon? And he goes, yep, behind it. Right back there behind it. Because he's like, yep, that's what you want me to say.
Like, I'm going to say it.
It's like he never said behind. You just led him to that. And that would never be allowed.
What occurred while you were there?
When I was there, I saw Damien hit this one boy real bad. And then, now he started screwing him and stuff.
So, you saw Damien strike Chris Byers in the head.
What pisses me off about this one is that he never said he hit him in the head.
He just said he hit him real bad.
He said he hit him real bad. He never said the head. Like, why are you bringing up the head, sir? Is that because that's what you want him to say?
Michael Moore took off running, so I chased him and grabbed him and held him till they got there, and then I left.
Okay. All right. When you get the boys back together, where are you at from the creek?
I was up by the service road.
Up by the service road? Okay. Now, when he hits the first boy, where are they at when he hits him? Are you in the woods? You on the side of the big bayou? You out in the field? Where are you at?
I was in the woods.
In the woods. Okay, you've been down there in those woods before.
So
Can you describe to me what in those woods, what's the location where you were? Is there a path you go down?
I was down a little path.
All right, where does that path go to?
It lead out there close to the field, close to the interstate.
Okay.
Stuff where I was at.
All right.
I was close by the interstate.
When he hits the first boy, and then Jason hits another boy, and one takes off running, where does he run to?
That one, he runs out, going out the park, and I chased him and grabbed him and brought him back.
Which way does he go? I mean, does he going back towards where the houses are? Is he going to Blue Beacon? Is he going out towards the field? Where's he running to?
Towards the houses.
Towards the houses.
Where the pipe is that goes across the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ran out there, and I caught him and brought him back. And then I took off.
This is the part that really makes me crazy. He says he left.
Right.
He said, I left. After they came and got Michael Moore, I left. But they're still asking him what happened next in the woods. He just said he left.
Right.
And he does this several times. He takes himself away from it, and they keep putting him back in. And he just goes with it because they're being mean to him when he doesn't.
Okay. Well, you came back a little bit later, and all three boys are tied.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
And then I took off and went home.
All right. Have they got their clothes on when you saw them tied?
They had them off.
They had already gotten them off. When he first hit the boy, when Damien first hit the first boy, did they have their clothes on then?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When did they take their clothes off?
Right after they beat up all three of them and beat them up real bad.
Beat them up real bad. And then they took their clothes off.
It ends up being 7 times that Jessie says he left before the murders happened. And then he was just told that he went back. Ridge is like, so when you came back later? He never said he came back later.
But Ridge knew that he had to do that to place Jessie back there.
Exactly. He needed him to be more implicated in this. And it just makes it this 7 times he says I left during this whole confession, and every single time they don't go, so did you go home? They don't ask him what he did. They say, no, you were there. Tell me what happened next. It's like, no, dude, listen to what he's saying.
Then they tied him.
Then they tied him up, tied their hands up. They start screwing him and stuff, cutting him and stuff. And I saw it, and I turned around and looked. And then I took off running. I went home. And then they called me and asked me how come I didn't stay. And I told them I just couldn't.
Just couldn't stay for that.
I couldn't stand to see what they were doing to him.
Okay. Now, when it's going on, when it's taking place, you saw somebody with a knife. Who had a knife?
Jason.
Jason had a knife.
He said he left. He just said he left and went home.
Right.
He just said he left. He, in fact, added on to it and said that Damien called him and said, why did you leave? And still, he's like, cool. So did you see a knife come out? It's like, he just said he left before
this
that
whole
happened.
thing is like, I don't even understand how this was admissible at all.
God damn it.
What did he cut with the knife? What did you see him cut, or who did you see him cut?
I saw him cut one of the little boys.
All right, where did he cut him at?
He was cutting him in the face.
Cutting him in the face. All right. Another boy was cut, I understand. Where was he cut at?
At the bottom.
On his bottom? Was he face down and he was cutting on him, or?
He was.
Now, you talking about bottom, do you mean right here?
Mm-hmm.
In his groin area? Okay.
So first of all, he says bottom like it's a quiet, like bottom? Is that what you're looking for?
Right.
And then, I don't know about you, but I don't call my groin my bottom. That's not, my ass is my bottom. That's not what that is. And then, so he says bottom.
Right.
And Gary Gitchell's like, do you mean this? Like, not the
and
bottom?
he's like, yeah.
He's like,
that's what you want me to say.
Do you mean an entirely different thing? And he's like, yep, sure do. And he's like, so the groin? And he's like, yep. And he's like, cool. All right, moving on. Like that, what?
It's ridiculous.
So you know what his penis is?
Yeah. That's where he was cut at.
That's where he was cut.
Which boy was that?
That right there.
You're talking about the Byers boy again? Okay.
Are you sure that he was the one that was cut?
That's the one I seen him cutting on.
Okay. Do you know what a penis is?
Yes.
All right. Is that where he was cutting?
They ask him if he knows what a penis is.
Why would you ask somebody
claim
that if you didn't know that they were mentally challenged?
Exactly. You're really, so if he's at a functioning age level as a 17-year-old,
it's like,
he would know what a penis is.
Did they ask Damien or
exactly? Do you know
Jason
what a penis is? No, they knew he was mentally handicapped, so they were like, "You do know what a penis is, right?"
Right, and then they're just being assholes. Like,
yeah,
okay.
I'm like, way to be very offensive too.
Right.
Like, you must not know what a penis is. Like, really?
And I saw some blood, and that's when I took off.
Again, he says he took off and he is ignored. And they just keep going with it. So now they decide that they need to fucking correct his statement.
Oh, good.
Yes, you heard that right. They are correcting his statement.
Were y'all close to the creek at that point?
Yes.
Where was the little boy actually at?
He was close. About.
All right, you know where the bio is.
Right.
All right, and you know where the little creek is that goes out to the expressway. And doesn't have a lot of water in it, but it's got some water in it, and it's flowing through there. Which side of that creek were you on? Were you on the Memphis side of the creek, or were you on the Blue Beacon side of that creek?
Blue Beacon.
On the Blue Beacon. So there's like a tall bank. Where were you at on that bank?
I was standing up at the top.
All right, where were they at?
They was at the bottom.
On which side?
The Memphis side.
They were on the Memphis side.
I was on the...
All right, we're going to correct that even further. That's the east side. Memphis side is the east side. You were standing at the top of the bank on the west side. Were you looking down at what was going on?
I was looking down. And after I seen all that, I took off.
Once again, he left.
He's like, hey guys, I dipped.
I pieced out of there. And then they said, we're going to correct that.
And it's like, no, you can't correct somebody's statement.
You can't correct someone's recollection when you weren't there.
All right. You went home. And about what time was it that all this was taking place?
They called me about...
I'm not saying when they called you. I'm saying what time was it that you were actually there in the park?
I was there about 12.
So he's already stated that this started at 9. So I don't know why we're asking once more, but whatever. And then he says noon now. So we've jumped 3 hours. And this was after 20 seconds of blank audio that was never
where they were telling him what to say.
Exactly.
Correct.
About noon? Okay. Was it after school? Had let out?
I didn't go to school.
Well, these other boys.
He said 9 a.m. and then he said noon. In what world is that after school got out?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
And then Jesse's like, yeah.
He's leading him closer and closer to the actual time.
Exactly.
Because he starts out at 9. He's like, whew, we got some work to do to get to the real time. So let's just keep on trucking.
They skipped school.
They skipped
They
school.
was going to catch their bus or stuff, and they was on their bikes. So.
Now, did you say the boys skipped school that day? These little boys did? Are you sure?
They was going to catch going somewhere, and like I said, Damien and them left before I did. I told them I'd meet them there.
Nope, all 3 were accounted for at school. Good try, though.
And stuff, I had to get ready and stuff. I'd meet them there. And it was early in the morning, so they went ahead and met me up. They went up there, and then I came up, later on behind them.
What time did you get there?
I got there about 9.
In the morning? Of Wednesday morning? And when?
What time is it right now?
Right now?
Yeah. You don't know what time it is?
Do you not wear a watch?
It's at home.
So,
My dad woke me up this morning.
your time period might not be exactly right what you're saying.
Right.
But it was like early in the day, but you don't know exactly what time. Okay. Because I've got some real confusion with the times you're telling me. But now, this 9 o'clock in the evening call that you've got, explain that to me.
Well, after all the stuff happened that night that they done it,
okay,
I went home about noon. Then they called me at 9 o'clock that night. They called me.
Okay. And what did they tell you on the telephone?
They asked me how come I left so early and stuff. And I told them I couldn't stand there watching it no more, so I had to do something to get out of there.
Okay.
He just said noon, and now he's back to 9. Are we seeing that this didn't actually occur?
Mitchell's like, please just tell me that you were there at 6 p.m.
Oh, don't worry. He gets to that. Eventually, he asks him if he wears a watch, and when Jessie says he usually does, but that it's at his house right now, and he's like, I do know how to tell time. He tells them, that's when Gitchell and Ridge are like, maybe you have the times messed up.
He's like, yeah, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. are pretty similar.
It seems to me if it would be hard to mix up 9 a.m., noon, and evening, but
who am I to judge?
I'm not the West Memphis PD brain trust, am I? So we're just all on a different level here. Several times, Jessie states that the boys' legs were free, and when Ridge and Gitchell try to sway him to say their legs were tied, they say, quote, well, then what was stopping them from running away? And he responded, quote, they could run. They couldn't. They were hogtied.
Right.
He also said that the way that Christopher Byers was killed was he was choked. First he said with someone's hands, then he said with a stick. The ME said that no choking was apparent on him in any way, and if it was with a stick, you would definitely notice it. And they determined that he died of blood loss, so that wasn't a thing.
That hurts my heart.
I know, it's awful. So also, when asked when he received a phone call after he said 9 p.m. that night, so after all this, they're like, so when did they call you again? He says 9 p.m. Now they ask him again when he has just said noon, and at the latest was when he left the woods. And he says,
you went home. How long after you got home before you received the phone call? 30 minutes? An hour? An hour after you got home?
So they're like, okay, so when did they call you after you left the woods?
Yeah.
And he's like, and then they don't wait for him to answer. They go, a half hour? An hour? So he has two choices here. First, he says they called him at 9 p.m. that night.
Yeah.
And they're like, that wasn't right. So they were like, oh, was it a half hour or an hour after you left the woods at noon?
Right.
So he's like, so those are his two choices. They give him two choices. You can't come up with something else. So he chooses. He says an hour.
Uh-huh.
So he has been questioned for over 6 hours and 34 minutes were recorded.
Oh, you know how that happens.
That makes sense. So then there's a break. And Gitchell decides he needs to clear some things up, and he questions Jessie alone.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Now, remember, Jessie has just stated it was morning. Everyone skipped school and noon at the latest. Now, suddenly the tape switches on, and Gitchell asks, what time? And Jessie, without hesitation, said, quote, I would say it was about 5 or 6.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's probably real. Then Gitchell says, quote, you told me earlier it was 7 or 8. And he said, yeah, it was 7 or 8.
When you got with the boys and with Jason and Baldwin, when you three were in the woods and then the little boys come up, about what time was it when the boys came up to the woods?
I say it was about 5 or so, 5 or 6.
Now, did you have your watch on at the time?
Mm-mm.
You didn't have your watch on? You told me earlier it's around 7 or 8, or which time is it?
It's 7 or 8.
Are you?
It was starting to get dark.
Okay.
I remember it was starting to get dark.
Okay. Well, that clears it up. I didn't know. That's what I was wondering. Was it getting dark or?
Oh. So Gitchell's literally like, dude, I told you 7 or 8. Like, he's like, you're supposed to say this. And he's like,
right.
Oh, yeah, I said that.
Right.
So the boys were tied with white and black shoelaces out of their own shoes. When asked again what they were tied with, Jessie says rope again.
Yeah.
He also, when they asked what color, he says brown.
Yeah.
None of those things are even remotely true.
Right.
And these are things that it's not like little details that he just would have missed. These are blatant, huge things that he would have seen if he was there.
Right, but he wasn't.
But he wasn't there.
So he's just using, like, assumption.
Yeah. Now, when he talks about it later, he says that he realized that whenever he would answer how they wanted him to, they were nice to him, and it was easier for him. But when he didn't answer correctly, they screamed at him, so he just tried to answer how they wanted him to. He said they were obviously giving him clues about what to say, so he tried really hard to take the clues, but sometimes he said it was just hard to figure out what they wanted him to say.
And mind you, at the end of this, he thought his dad was getting $35,000. So
yeah.
He was like, I'll say anything.
Oh, 100%. And he said, quote, I figured they knew I was lying from the get-go. Because the police, they knew me. They knew me for a long time. They knew I wasn't that type of person to go killing little kids. I figured they knew I was lying because they was lying too.
Oh.
He was put in a holding cell without telling him that he was now implicated by his own words in the murder of 3 8-year-old boys.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought he was just going home. So he said, quote, I figured they knew I needed a ride home, but my dad never did show up.
Oh my God, my fucking heart.
Right? Like, that's really fucked up that they can do that to someone.
They can't fucking do that.
Now, once they were done, Deputy Prosecutor Fogelman, I say it like that, immediately went before Judge Rainey to ask for a warrant to arrest Damien and Jason. The reason for arresting Jason was because he hung out with Damien.
Oh, yeah, you know.
That's it. Like, literally, when he asked the judge, he was like, well, they hang out together.
They typically arrest all murderers.
Yeah,
friends.
so Jason literally was guilty by association. Like that's
straight
really
up.
fucked up.
That's the definition.
Jason said he was just in shock. He said he kept trying to tell them he was at school that day, and they kept saying they knew he was lying. And once one of them said, you mean if we go get your school records, they'll show you were there? And he said, yes, get them.
Oh, my God.
And it would have shown he was there.
Right.
His mother was not contacted, an attorney was not offered or given, and no recording of his questioning exists.
Perfect.
Which is totally by the book, right?
Right.
The next morning, June 4th, 1993, so what happened was when I started this episode, I told you what happened when they got arrested.
Right.
This is at that point. They got arrested.
Okay.
So now they've been arraigned. They've been charged with capital murder.
Yep.
Based on Jessie's very lead confession. So the next morning, June 4th, 1993, Gary Gitchell made a statement that shows exactly where this police department's motives were. He called the media out for a press conference, and every station came. There were live feeds. They were breaking into programming because this was huge. So he said the suspects were in custody, but wouldn't give any real answers to reporters' questions because he didn't fucking have any.
Right.
So then a reporter asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how solid do you feel your case is? And with a big grin, he says,
11.
So he got his applause and his pat on the back.
Like you're cheering for a bozo.
Yeah, and it's like, I get
I know.
why people were so supportive of this and
Right.
were so into these police officers doing their jobs, and they caught these fucking monsters that killed these poor little boys.
No.
Like, I get that. But they didn't.
Nope.
They didn't do their jobs at all. Like, this is so far from doing your job. And Gitchell later said he shouldn't have said that.
Oh, wow.
And he says, not because I didn't think it was a solid case, because to this day he's going to hang on to that.
Sure.
Of course. Because it's like the biggest case of his career. He went out with a bang.
Right.
But he says it was very arrogant and presumptive of him to say 11 because it put even more pressure on them to convict them.
Exactly.
Which is like, you didn't think of that? That if you say 11, people are going to assume this is a slam dunk the funk in court and you're just going to win. I don't know if anyone caught that 5 reference, but like, hey, my oldies.
Wow.
But
you see what I work with?
People are going to assume that you will easily convict them. There will be
Of course.
And they knew they had nothing and that this was actually going to be hard to do.
He can't even answer a question.
No.
But he's like, I feel like it's at 11.
11.
You're a dumbass.
Oh, Gary.
I'm pissed.
So
this episode has subsequently pissed me off.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. But that's going to be the end of part 2 because we are already at like an hour and a half.
I hope you enjoyed your drive to work and back.
Exactly. I never said brevity was my strong suit. If you come to our live shows, you know that already.
I'm always looking at the clock like, motherfucker, this bitch is going over.
I'm always like, I'm going to close the venue. I'm going to close
I'm
it.
like, we're not going to be able to get to the meet and greet.
And I go, the meet and greet. I always go in there thinking like, oh man, what if I can't even make it like an hour through this?
Yeah, right.
Bitch.
She always says that too.
I'm always
and
like,
I blankly stare.
I'm always knocking on 2 hours door and being like, shit, I need to wrap this up.
And I'm like, well, we're going to leave you on a cliffhanger because it's closed.
Because the venue wants us to leave. The city has shut down. So that's the end of part 2. Part 3, we are going to get into the trial, which was a fucking circus. And we're going to talk about some theories of who could have possibly done it and talk about John Mark Byers, because I'm sure everybody wants to hear about that dude. He's an interesting character. And his change of heart. I know Pam Hobbs, Stevie Branch's mom, also had a change of heart. So we'll definitely get into that, and feel free to have respectful, nice discussions about this on any of the, the Instagram or Twitter or wherever you would like, Facebook. But again, keep it respectful. We can all have different opinions, but like, look at the facts, guys.
Check those facts out, sis.
Do your research, whatever. We like to hear what you guys have to say. So hope you enjoyed this.
And head on over to visit us at Instagram.
At Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter.
At A Morbid Podcast.
Send us a nice Gmail.
Do it. morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
And join the fucking Facebook group.
Morbid: a true crime podcast Facebook group.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
weird. But that's where your name is Vicky and you live in a trailer where you start to set up all the books to make people feel comfortable even though you don't even read those books, and you say that you drove out there but you really didn't drive out there, and then you turn into this police officer guy who's feeding this poor innocent child all these wrong things. Don't keep it that weird.
So wrong. Bye.